I am having an extremely high pain day today and struggling to stand for very long. So instead of doing stuff with the horses and horse gear, why don't we talk about rider gear? Comfort is absolutely of the essence when it comes to doing endurance riding. Whatever you want to wear, you need to know that you can wear it for many, many hours, and you need to consider chafing, sun protection, wind protection, rain protection. Whatever the conditions you're riding in, you've got to be comfortable. Once again, let's take a quick look at the Australian Endurance Riding Association rules in regards to rider attire, which is item 38. Riders shall wear appropriate clothing that prevents a smart and professional image for the sport of endurance at all times while riding on course, presenting a horse for vet inspection at BC or at presentations. So basically, don't ride naked and just make yourself look a little bit smart. You know, you're out there, you're in a competitive sport. Do your best. You'll either have your own bib or you'll be allocated a bib, and this must be worn as the outermost clothing item. So that means over the top of any rain jackets as well. And they're quite roomy. There's plenty of room for them. And whoever trots the horse up, be it you or a strapper, must wear that bib as well. You must wear an approved helmet at all times while mounted. Check to make sure your helmet follows one of those 3 standards. It is recommended to use cage safety stirrups if your heels on your shoes are less than 1 centimetre in depth, and I'll have a look at that in a second as well. And you can use a GPS, but at the end of the day, whatever the ride kilometre distance says it is what it is. Your GPS has no bearing on that. So why don't we start from the top and work our way down. So a helmet is a must at all times when mounted, and it must be fastened correctly. So make sure it fits. It's not going to move around too much in case you have a fall, and it's done up properly so it's not going to fling off your head while you're riding. God forbid something happens. I usually work with 2 helmets. I have the helmet that I use in daylight with my fragile helmet cover, which is very appropriate for the amount of concussions I get. And then I have my head torch helmet. So my head torch is, when I say permanently attached, it's cloth taped to this helmet and it lives on this helmet. And then I plug in my battery pack when I'm ready to ride. So I have 2 helmets on the run. Next up is a buff. Obviously not required to wear at all. And I've only started wearing one probably in the last, I'd say 2 years. And I get chapped lips really bad when I ride out in those conditions for more than an hour or 2, even training. So I like to wear a buff to either just cover my lips, or I can put it up to cover my face. Obviously it fits better when I've got everything on. To protect myself from sun, wind, everything like that, to keep my face warm when it's really cold. So if you're in South Australia, the South Australian Endurance Riding Association sells these ones, or you can just find some on the internet. They're quite inexpensive. Now, shirt. This is not a sponsored post, by the way. This is just a shirt that I absolutely love, and I'm bummed that I only have one of them. So this is by Alpha Equestrian. It's long sleeve. It's got, I think it's a UPF 50 protection, so sun protection. It's lightweight, it's comfortable on me. I go up a size in most shirts anyway. So 100% recommend these, but whatever shirt you find comfortable. Bear in mind that if you're riding for a long time, you will get warm. So while you're saddling up, you might think you're cold and you might put an extra layer on. You're generally not going to need it. Even in really cold, windy conditions, I'm probably only going to wear a top like this and a rain jacket. I'm not going to layer. You will get warm if you're riding at a good crack. I like to use my Apple Watch to keep track of the distance during the ride and see if it matches up with distance markers and tell how long it's taking me to go. And it also tells me my current traveling speed, which I find really helpful for making sure I maintain a regular speed throughout. The only problem with the Apple Watch is you'll find you'll have to charge it between legs. It won't make it through a whole ride if you are constantly tracking. I also, somewhere in the universe, own a Garmin GPS watch as well, which the battery lasts way longer on those, obviously, and will do the same thing. So you don't need one. There are distance markers throughout the ride, usually every 5 kilometers. But like I said, I like to keep track of my current speed and everything. So in terms of rider wear, I like having a watch. Pants. So the black ones that I'm wearing are also by Alpha Equestrian, and they have copped a beating over the last couple of years. I've stitched up a couple of holes that I've shredded in them, and I still keep putting them on, and they're so, so comfortable. Now, with pants, again, personal preference, but I recommend you don't go for grip if you're riding for long distances, because it will rub, like it will attach itself to the saddle and then you'll be rubbing against it. And I've had some pretty wicked chafing using tights with grip. Again, give it a go, but generally you'll find, like for example, these Alpha Equestrian ones are sold without grip. I also sell my own riding tights, so the RBE tights in heaps of different colors. Obviously I've gone for orange and blue. They don't have grip either, but they do have an inner seam. Hasn't bothered me, but some people do find that the inner seam is a no-go for them. And I also have a big deep pocket on each thigh because I like to carry my phone and my vape with me. Boots and shoes. I would generally ride in my tall boots, especially when training. Like these things are absolutely knackered now, but I love them. These are just the Dublin something or other tall boots. I've also got a pair of short riding boots that I wear with these chaps. I've got another pair of tall riding boots. But the brilliant thing with endurance riding is that you can wear sneakers. A lot of riders will get off and lead their horses for various portions of the ride. I can't because I can't walk long distance generally. I will get off when I can, when I feel I can, or if I need to stretch, but I don't walk enough to really warrant wearing sneakers. But remember what I said before about not having a heel of a depth more than a centimetre. So see how these are flat? There's a chance that they could slide straight into the stirrup. So that's why they highly recommend that if you're going to wear sneakers, you use a cage stirrup. Also, I personally have to have something on my inner calf, otherwise the rubbing I get is phenomenal. Hence the tall boots or chaps. These ones are neoprene, you can get leather ones, you can get pleather ones, you can get mesh ones, the whole lot. But yes, I also recommend chaps, depending on how sensitive your skin is. Whatever you choose to wear, please make sure that you give it a good test run before your competition. I can't stress that enough. I did an 80-kilometer ride once where I was wearing grip tights and I hadn't tested them over a long distance before, and that's when I got that insane chafing. Like I had to change between legs, absolutely test every item of clothing. It goes with tack as well before you do your competition to check for rubbing or discomfort or things that you need to change generally. Always give everything a good test run before you compete. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions on rider wear. I've probably missed something because I'm also having a brain day, or any other questions generally, and I'd love to answer them. See you out there.